Hello, people. Hello, hello, hello. You know what time it is? It is Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the place to be is here at the Chaotic Conversation. It's the usual suspects in the house. How's everyone doing?
What's up?
All right.
Super.
Good.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
We are glad that you all could be here to join us. This is the fifth week we're doing our top 50 villains. The lady of the chat is not here tonight. She's having some issues, but she's here with us in spirit. I'll make sure next time she come on, she can go ahead and give us her last 20. I think she missed the last episode and she missed this one. Feeling a little bit under the weather last time. I cannot remember for the life of me who went first. But what I would do, like I always do, is I would do a quick recap of what everyone said. There are 20 through 11. And then we will start on this
The final 10.
10 through 1, which is I am definitely interested in hearing this. I better find mine.
Hold on. While you look for that, shut the hell up, Flash. We are doing chaotic conversation. This is not square one, okay? We will discuss this topic on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll wait till Saturday. And Danny and I have already agreed not to say anything about it, especially me, because I have more important things to worry about tomorrow than the Anthem Zone in the middle of my statements.
I'm not going to fan zone about the football stuff because I'm telling you, I didn't even know about it. I didn't even watch it. That's how little faith I had in Washington, but that's all I'm going to say.
I will say this: it was a good game, and I really thought that Pittsburgh was going to take over there in that last 10 minutes or so, and I turned it, and I don't know what happened. I saw the last play, but I don't know. So
yeah. Well, okay. Last week we did our 20 through 11. I will go at mine first. I did Mitch Hiller. I wouldn't cut on the hate cop, bad cop TVD tangent. So my number 20 was Mitch Hiller. He was the husband for Enough, starring Jennifer Lopez. Number 19 was Martin Burney, Sleeping with the Enemy. Number 18 was Steven from the Django Unchained. 17 was Abel Turner from Lakeview Terrace. Sam Jackson played that. He was the bad cop. Number 16 was Alonzo Harris from Training Day, played by Denzel Washington. Number 15 was Cobb, played by Brian Denny from Silverado. 14 was Clay Morrow, the president of the Sons of Anarchy. The Colonel from Shooter, played by Danny Glover. I can't think of his last name, that bastard.
He's already getting worked up over it, rereading his list. He's like, God damn it.
Number 12 was Darth Maul. And number 11 was the Kurgan from Highlander, played by Clancy Brown. One of my favorite actors.
Hold on, Danny. Let me just answer this one real quick. Abram says, Lonzo, when's the next off your chest? Really need advice, bro. It's Wednesday, 10 o'clock. So tune in Wednesday, 10 o'clock. If you have any issues, just send them in the chat and I'll discuss it.
Okay, good deal. Also, number 20 was Killmonger. His number 19 was Venom. 18 was Megatron. 17 was Skeletor. 16 was Horace Pinker. 15 was Mitch Leary. 14 was Jigsaw. 13 was Pinhead. Number 12 was Zod, the original. And number 11 was Horace Pinker. Did somebody, like I heard of?
I heard it too really quick. I don't know
where that came from. All right. Terrence was Simon Phoenix, his number 20. Then Killgrave, Kingpin, Negan from Walking Dead, the Reverse Flash, Carrie's mother. What?
Huh?
What you said?
I forgot about fucking Negan.
Yeah. Number 15 was Carrie's mother. 14 was Alonzo. 13 was Death. 12 was Lucifer. And 11 was Shredder. Chris said his number 20 was General Zod, Lex Luthor. I'm not sure which one. I'm assuming from Smallville.
I was going general overall.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Number 18 was Norman Bates. Number 17 was John Doe. 16 was Thanos. 15 was Moriarty from
Sherlock Holmes.
from where?
Sherlock Holmes. That's
Yeah,
his
Sherlock
arch
Holmes.
nemesis.
That was his arch nemesis. 14 was Magneto. 13 was Roy Batty. 12 was T-1000, and 11 was Palpatine. Geiskar, number 20 was Deacon Frost from Blade. 19 is Littlefinger. 18 is Lizard. 17 was Apocalypse. 16 was Kingpin. 15 was Alex Connigan.
Yeah.
14 was Negan. 13 was Malgus. 12 was Stan Edgar. And 11 was Darth Plagueis. So we are now going through 10 through 1. And who would I let go first? I think I'm going to get Mr. Terrence go first.
All
Chris,
right.
you going to go anywhere with your get your kids, anything? Okay.
I'm here.
All right, Terrence. The floor is yours, sir. I got to step away for 1 minute, but I'll be right back.
Terrence? Terrence?
Terrence is muted. You're muted, Terrence.
Well, he's not muted on here unless he's muted on like his headset or something.
So does someone else want to go? Then?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Go ahead.
I think he waits.
Wait.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Oh, waiting for Danny to come back?
Yeah, because he said to wait. He's coming back.
Okay.
Oh,
So then, while we do that, while we wait for him, Chris, let's see, because tomorrow's the big day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta make sure that we are not arguing about the same things. Okay. Are you saying that there was no backstory whatsoever for any of the characters, or are you saying that he just didn't have a script?
I have proof that says that some of the characters were there, but the backstory didn't come around until 1981. My point is that he has inconsistently spoke on both sides of it. I have two different interviews where he says that the leftover parts was the backstory was thought about, but I have other times when he says no. And in fact, I have several situations that basically point blank he says the first act was Star Wars. So
Okay.
he blatantly goes outside of what he says because first act, you don't have anything before first act.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he didn't have any backstories for the characters. That's what I'm asking you.
Well,
are you saying he didn't have a script, or are you saying that he didn't have a backstory?
Well, he didn't have a script, and the backstory didn't start formulating until 1981. I have pieces of evidence from Lucasfilm actually that states that he didn't actually start formulating the full backstory and what. In fact, the proof is, well, I can prove to you 1981 is about the time when what we know as the prequels began to be formed. In 1977 and before, while he may have had some of the names, because the names were there, they consistently changed, they were back and forth, they went from this to that. There was, like I said, Mace Windu, not Mace Windu. There were pieces, names, and things like that, yes.
Okay, but that's exactly what I'm saying, though.
But nothing that was formulated as far as what the backstory was. It was just names. It was just things that he threw around. That's what I'm saying.
No, I have proof that he says.
Okay, I have proof the other way around.
Backstories. So if you want to do it, we can do it
tomorrow.
That's not a problem.
No, tomorrow. All right.
All right. So, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right. So, number 12 or number 10 is Klaus from the originals. This is a universe. You have the Vampire Diaries, the originals, and Legacies is the current one. So Klaus is one of the originals, and this is a big ass family. You have like Elijah, Cole, Rebecca, Finn, Freya, Haley, Klaus's daughter Hope. So this is a family that has a bunch of werewolves and vampires and witches and stuff. And Klaus is a hybrid. He's half vampire, half werewolf. There's only one way to kill this guy, which is with a white oak stake. And there were all of three of them in the whole world. And fortunately, the originals were able to destroy them. Now, Klaus is my favorite character on this show and one of my all-time favorite villains because he just rips out motherfuckers' spines and takes out their heart like it's a Tuesday. You know, that's just like his basic method of killing, including snapping someone's neck. And this guy has killed a lot of vampires, witches, humans, so many that it's just really hard to keep track of it. And not only has he killed a lot of individuals, but he makes sure that you understand why you are dying. He's someone that is very quick to rage in the way that he punishes and tortures and kills individuals. And his method for punishing his family when they piss him off is also unique. There's a stake where if you put it in an original's body, as long as the stake remains inside of their body, they remain in this constant state of sleep. And he will do that to his siblings for like decades or 100 years at a time, just because they pissed him off. So just, you know, to me through and through, I'm like, this is like a crazy ass villain to where, you know, even you being someone that he loves, so to speak, as he expresses.
Can they do that to him?
They can, but you know, it's unlikely that they will try, considering that he is the best fighter amongst his family. His brother Elijah is a close second, and usually Elijah goes with Klaus to do various, you know, missions that he'll set up. So, you know, Elijah would be the closest one, but usually Klaus will get the upper hand and end up beating Elijah in a physical confrontation most of the time. So, and then, you know, considering that they are monsters, they have more of a conscience than he does. Like, he has a I don't give a fuck kind of attitude, and if you're not on that level, you will never beat somebody like that. So, yeah, Klaus is he's just a badass. Number 9, the Predator, you know, the creature. You know, it's interesting because, you know, while he is a villain, yeah, that's him. That's Klaus. Nick Klaus is his full name, but they call him Klaus for short. So, yeah, that's out of all the vampires I've seen, he's the closest one to Angelus, which is my favorite vampire from the Buffy universe. So yeah, Predator. You know, even though in the context of his movies he's considered the villain because he's killing humans, I like that there is an honor factor to this creature. You know, he's not gonna, you know, just kill a child or someone that is unarmed. And we have seen multiple examples of that throughout the various Predator films. And I think it's interesting that you have a creature that is considered to be villainous, but has a specific trait that is lacking in most humans just because they don't understand honor. They don't care for it. They just think that there's no use for it in their life. So there's something a little bit more terrifying about a creature that kills so easily and is also accustomed to honorable traits. And, you know, we saw what he did to all the badasses in the first Predator movie and so on and so on. So I had to put him on my list. Number 8, Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. Frieza is a villain that I was introduced to when I was a kid because that's when I started watching Dragon Ball Z. And Danny, you were very much aware of this character. Mm-hmm. And you know, Frieza, he just goes around murdering people, like just because he can. If you are not on his level, he's gonna kill you, or he might force you to work for him if he feels there is some specific use for you. He enslaved the Saiyan race, which has my favorite character, out of all those different shows and movies, just in that universe in general, Vegeta. And Vegeta is, to me, by far the most badass character I've seen. But Frieza managed to break him mentally on multiple occasions, which is very difficult to do. Like, you have to really be somebody special to do something to Vegeta on emotional level. So that's when I really took notice of him. I'm like, man, Vegeta is really scared of this dude, and Vegeta's not afraid of anyone. So then, we seen him just completely annihilate the entire Saiyan race, with the exception of a few that, we saw that, Nappa, Raditz, and Vegeta, and then Goku was already away. But this guy, he laughs at you when he's beating the shit out of you. He'll watch you cough up blood, and he's just like, yep. And before you die, I want you to say that I'm the greatest, and then I'm going to kill you anyway because you pissed me off. And I thought that was epic. I used to cheer for him all the time. The only exception when I didn't cheer for him was when he was beating up Vegeta, because I was like, that's my boy. But anyone else that he was slaughtering and killing, I was just cheering and had the popcorn and everything. That shit was a good time. Number 7 is Pinhead from the Hellraiser films. Yeah, like I said many times before, I've seen many horror movies, and Pinhead really sticks out to me because he's so calm all the time. Like, he doesn't like have any rage or anything. Like, there are rare moments where he gets upset, but that's usually when he's about to be contained, but in his little puzzle box. But when he's free, no emotion, he has his Cenobites with him, and the way that he sees it is he's punishing human sinners, and humans, they're fucking ridiculous in the things that they do and say to each other. And a lot of the humans that he goes after, they fucking deserve what they get. I never feel sorry for them. There might be like maybe one character in the background that's like the nicest person on the planet, and they just happen to be in that environment, and that's more of a, oh, well. But the majority of them are like, yeah, that motherfucker needs to die. He needs to die. She needs to die kind of scenario. And the way that he rips them apart with the fucking chains and shit. And then he'll take pieces of his brain out to implement explosions in his environment. I'm just like, talk about utilizing your own flesh. Like, he does that better than most characters, when you can take pieces of yourself and use them for destructive means. Number 6 is Yulaw from The One with Jet Li.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, Yulaw is my boy, man. My uncle who passed away, rest in peace, he showed me that film, and he was like, we got to watch this one, Terrence, Jet Li. And I was like, okay. He puts it on, and Yulaw went from universe to universe, killing every version of himself so he can be the one, having the ultimate power, the strength, the speed, the intelligence. And I'm like, that's a badass motherfucker, because I tell you what, if I found out that I can go to universe, killing all the Terrences to be a higher version of myself, I would do that in a fucking second. Hell yeah. Because then, when you got ultimate power like that, you can really take over the planet then. So, like, all that kind of stuff, like trying to stop him, they couldn't. And it was like he knew they would show up and what kind of plans they would implement. And, he gets to that last one, and that's like the most beast one, because they're the final 2. So, that last one's going to be hard as fuck to beat, but he was still just like, I'm going to fuck his ass up. I'm going to kill him, and he was relentless with that. There was no like, well, this one has a family, or this one's in a relationship. He didn't give a fuck about those human traits and shit. He just was like, you look just like me. You're going to die. Simple. And I love how he was just so relentless like that. I was like, this dude is a badass motherfucker right here. So, I found myself really immersed in that movie. And I feel like the concept of the movie was better than the movie itself. And the concept was enough for me to believe that this dude was really trying to be the one, So I had to put him on the list. And then number 5, the T-1000 from Terminator 2. Yeah, they don't make villains like this anymore. They just don't. Like, a lot of the villains we get today are just so fucking whack and one dimensional and dry and shit. It's so boring a lot nowadays. But with the T-1000, even though the T-1000 is a villain in the movie, because he is a machine, like to me, to technically speaking, a machine can't be neither good nor bad. It's just simply following programming. And it was programmed to kill, John Connor, to take out anyone associated with his family, including his mother as well. So it just following the programming in the way that it interacts in the movie, made it terrifying because, the first movie you saw Arnold, big as fuck, it just seemed like most like bullets, like you shoot him and it just, and no expression. So I was like, this is as bad as it gets. But with the T-1000, like when I first saw him as a kid, his like appearance didn't bother me. Like he looked like a regular cop at first, but it was then when he got closer to his target when there was just like this switch that he flipped off, and then you just he's just running after him, just not stopping, and the way he would morph himself because he's liquid metal. And then how Arnold's model, the T-800, essentially the T-101, when it looks like Arnold, was telling him that, this is more advanced than I am. So it was really just the visuals and hearing the other Terminator state the facts about him. Kind of over the course of the movie, he became a little bit more terrifying as certain things presented themselves. And I was like, oh, okay, Arnold's model has the appearance, but there's something about something that's more advanced than him, and there's no real feasible way to beat him. I mean, they beat him with that hot liquid metal, but that scenario was set up a certain way, but that's not practical. You're out there in the world, on the road and shit running. There's not going to be a bunch of hot liquid metal around to kill this thing. So I'm like, fuck, how are they going to beat this dude? And they were shooting him and shit wasn't working. I was like, man, I didn't know how they were going to defeat him as a kid. And seeing a lot of villains, there was always a way most of the time where I'm like, oh, they could beat him, they could beat her, and it had to do with like characters being weak and different shit. There was always a way that I could see that they could win. I couldn't see it with the T-1000 until we got it, so had to put him there. And then number 4 is Mama from the Dread movie. Now, like I've said many times before, that I love a badass woman. I've only met a few of them in my life, like the full extent of what that's supposed to mean, not just because they open their mouth and say something, but it's just how they conduct themselves through life. Like Mama, she was like on the street, sucking dick on a Tuesday, and like something happened because her pimp or whatever, he just was like, yo, you didn't make the money I told you to make. And he like backhanded her or something. Then he put her down on her knees, and then she was supposed to suck his dick. And then the scene transition was just, she bit off his dick and balls and the blood was dripping out of her mouth. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like like how you hear like a lot of females and they're just like, I'm going to do this to him. I'm going to do this. This is what I would do. They ain't going to do shit. Most of them are just talking. But Mama, she actually did that shit.
The views and opinions of Terrence is not all the views and opinions of
hey.
Oh, did you see you have a super chat? Sorry.
I did. I'm gonna get that after I get done.
Hey, I'm not saying nothing disrespectful. I'm just talking about females that are pretending to be badass and they're not. Like that's just facts.
I can't tell, but go ahead.
But yeah, so like I said, to me, a badass woman or an intelligent woman. I like exceptional women. Like I don't like when females pretend to be those things when, I have seen and have met women that actually fall into that category. That would count as, being fake, and that's bullshit. I don't like that. So, Mama, she took out the dude that she used to work for, and then she took over an entire building full of some of the worst humans on the planet, and she killed the respective leaders of this gang and that gang, and then she made all of them work for her. I'm like, how badass do you have to be to do some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can easily have like, I don't know, say you got a Terrence up in there and shit. And then she did something, and then next thing you know, Terrence is working for Mama, which I would gladly do, by the way. About what you need, Mama. You need like 10 heads. You want me to decapitate these motherfuckers? Like, I got you, Mama. Whatever you want. Because the respect would be there. I'm like, it's a badass chick right here. Love that shit. So, you know, and then we saw what happened to her when Dredd had to toss her out the window. I wasn't really in favor of her ending. I wanted her to live, at least to be in 2 more movies, but I guess that shows how much of a badass villain she was, man. Number 3 is Magneto, like just indefinite Magneto. Just maybe not so much the new comics and shit is weak, but you know, more so the old school stuff. But you know, and then even in the movies and stuff, I love Magneto. Like, this guy understands the human condition, and the human condition is inherently flawed. You know, like once you take out all the silly emotions and you see it for what it is, humans by and large are trash. Like, he noticed that, like, okay, you have humans that fight over politics, religion, race, gender, all the stupid shit that they could fight about, they fight. And then they kill each other over the dumbest fucking reasons, for greed and everything else. So if they can do that to each other, what the fuck do you think they're going to do to mutants? Like, you know, beings that are actually different, like whether it be like you can physically see that the skin is green or blue, they're going to go crazy. They won't be able to handle that, because as far as humans are concerned, you know, top of the food chain, they're the chosen ones and all that silly shit that they like to say on a regular basis. So when they're challenged, they're going to respond with fear, which also makes them weak and illogical. So Magneto, having had his experience, he's just like, no, Charles, we buddies, but you know, I'm over here talking about we need to take these motherfuckers out, and you talking about, no, let's sit down at the table and break bread with them. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, Charles, I'm trying to tell you, like, okay, Charles, I'll tell you what, let's try your way. We see that Magneto has tried Charles' way many times and it doesn't work. And it's like, when you're in a position and you're a mutant, you have to choose, like, okay, are you going to roll by yourself? If you do, odds are, if you're not that powerful, some humans are going to take you out. You know, just because they have the numbers, and when they unite for a cause, which is usually for fucked up reasons most of the time, and it's fear associated with a lot of those causes, you're gonna be in trouble. So now it's just like, okay, you don't want to be by yourself. Who you gonna go with? You're gonna go with Charles, Mr. Let's break bread with everybody trying to kill us, or are you gonna go with Magneto? Somebody that's like, no, if a human so much as blinks the wrong way, we have the right to kill their ass on the spot. So I'm just like, Magneto was just like that powerful force where you believe what he says. He's able to give these speeches. He's able to convince people to follow him because he's not the norm, even amongst his own kind. And there's something powerful about someone that's like, I'm sorry that you've been mistreated. I'm sorry they did that to you. But look, if you come with us, this shit will never happen again. And we're going to find the fuckers that did this to you, and we're going to kill them. Like, I'm like, how can you not like a character like that? You know what I mean? It's like, and if you don't like him, I guess you'd be one of those individuals that loves to hate him or some shit. But nah, like, Magneto is really cool. He's one of the best villains I've ever seen or read about. Number 2 is Heath Ledger's Joker. He's a perfect villain to me. 100% flawless type of villain, because he represents chaos. He represents the worst of humanity. You know, humans, like, I don't know what it is with these silly creatures. Like, they always try to like defend each other when they do stupid shit, knowing that a lot of it is repetitive, right? So the Joker, he's just like, no, you know, humans, they respond to chaos. And, you know, Batman's over there talking about, it's not like that. There's some goodness in this city and all this shit. And it's like, look, Batman, I get you try to cater to the couple of humans that want to do the right thing, but you have humans out there doing evil shit, whether it be that they're physically harming each other or they're saying something that causes just as much, if not more, damage. Like the mouth of a human is really powerful, and we don't even have to really get into depending on what gender you are and what race, how that can give you more power on this planet. So the Joker was able to figure all that out, and he wanted to make a statement. And like I love that scene when he was talking to Batman. He's just like, look, you don't mean shit. You're important right now, but as soon as you like make a mistake, and it may not even be like a mistake in the full extent, but it's like if these humans think that you did something wrong, I want you to watch how quickly they tear your ass down from your pedestal. And like even Batman was looking at him, he didn't have that much to say. He's like, damn, he's fucking right. Like these humans only like what I can do for them. But as soon as I disappoint them and they get emotional, I'm fucking done. And we saw what happened, how quickly they turned on him. They didn't even want to give him the benefit of the doubt. They're just like, let's sick the dogs on him. Let's hunt him down and shit. So like the Joker made all these great points. We saw him killing his own men. He took over the criminal various organizations that they had there. He made the hero feel bad. He made the hero suffer. He broke his heart and shit. The only thing that he didn't do was destroy him physically. But if you ask me, and if you talk to most humans, all that heart and soul and emotional shit is far worse than any fucking bullet I can shoot you with. Because you can heal from that shit. Some of the stuff that Joker did to Batman and all these humans, they're not going to heal right from that. They're going to come out a little bit fucked up where you can see the scars. And we saw what happened with The Dark Knight Rises. So, number 2. Number 1 is just the all-time great is Hannibal Lecter. Period. I mean, like when I saw that character for the first time, everything that he is and everything that he did, I'm like, there's something called a bar that gets set, and from that point on, any and every villain is now expected to live up to that standard. And the likelihood of you being able to surpass that is almost impossible, but you better get fucking close to surpassing that if you want to be respected as a villain. And this is not just about, oh, I like him, I like her, and that's why I rank them as high as they are. No, it's about what the character does, like what I call proper critiquing in the way that things are presented. Fuck how I feel. How does this character work in the medium that he's in? And I feel like that character managed to scare people, creep them out. You know, little humans turn on their the little night lights at nighttime and shit. You know, they hear a little creak in the house. Maybe they send the husband to go check or some shit. You know how humans do. So like that character was able to make humans feel uncomfortable, knowing that that's only a movie. It's just like that shit is fake. But they were so invested at the craft of this character that the audience, they were able to think like, fuck, like, imagine if there's somebody like this in real life and we come across this person. What the fuck are we going to do? And the answer to that is you're not going to do nothing. You're going to die more than likely. But yeah. So, yeah, that's why I had to put him as my number 1.
Okay, good list. We're going to do a quick recap. Terrence said it was Klaus, Predator, Freezer, Pinhead, U-Law, T-1000, Mama from Dread, Magneto, Joker, and Hannibal Lecter was his number 1. Good list. Want to jump on this $5 super chat from Fatal J. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. He says Emperor Palpatine or Joker for the best villains of all time. I don't disagree with that. Next, we're going to go with Geiskar.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, my number 10 is these are basically strict like villains that impacted me growing up and that seriously like fucked me up as a kid. Some of these horror movies. One was Angela Baker from Sleepaway Camp. My sister tormented me when I watched this when I think I was like 6 or 7 when I saw this. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with that movie. It's a classic. 70s.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah, so basically there was 2 kids, brother and sister, that got killed. Should I even spoil it, or should I just say watch it?
Spoiler shut up, man. We're going.
All right,
It's like
so
Is that her right there?
movie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
penis.
yeah, exactly.
Is that
Exactly.
her?
So yeah, exactly. So the parents
Him.
die. They get in a boat accident. One of the brothers or sister, well, the sister dies, but the aunt that takes care of them basically raises the boy as a girl, and then they go off to this camp, and she's killing everybody in that camp, and nobody has a clue until at the very end, when you just see the scene, she's there with the knife and the dick is right in there. You're like, holy shit, it's the actual, boy that's there, and just the shock of that back then. Not too long ago, I watched it with my kids, and they were like, holy crap, they didn't see it coming. Um, Number 9, Commander Shepard from Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if any gamers ever played the campaign on that. Uh, the whole work up to the end, where he just double crossed his own men, and he shoots one of the, there was 4 major characters in there: Ghost, Roach, Price, and Soap. And he just turns around and he kills Roach and Ghost. And while you're playing that game, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And it's just crazy. No, that's from Mass Effect. It's from Modern Warfare. So yeah, that was like a crazy cliffhanger. You have to put no, that's Mass Effect. That's not the right guy. My number 8 is Cobra Commander. One of my all-time favorite villains from the 80s cartoon, comic book, you name it. You just have to love him. Second one would number 7 would be Bison from Street Fighter 2. I don't know how much hundreds of dollars I lost in the arcades in Chinatown playing against, the best players that were in Montreal at the time. Just getting to that guy and fighting that guy and his moves and all that, and later on in the comic book. But I always remember the intensity in the arcades to get to that last level without anybody jumping in and screwing up your score. Number 6, Mola Ram from the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. Just the psychotic that he would sacrifice people in that lava pit, brainwash the kids for them to do, to become slaves in the pits. That was I just found that sick and twisted back in the day, and to this day, he was definitely one of my top 10. And number 5, Ramsay Bolton from the Game of Thrones. This guy was messed up. He tortured anybody and anything he could have. If you guys saw what he did to Theon Greyjoy, torturing him, making him break, where he became Reek, where he became a servant. He actually cut off his dick as well, and shipped it off to his family. Completely psychotic. Terrence, I'm surprised you didn't put him there. Number 4 would be the Dark.
Wait. That's from where did you say that villain's from?
Game of Thrones.
Oh, I don't watch that show. That's probably why.
Okay, it's like that character, man, is like Terrence profile right there.
I got you. I believe you.
Number 4, I would have to say the Dark Phoenix saga. Now, it's been years. I haven't read those books. It's like I think it was in the 70s as well that it came out, early 80s. I remember reading that saga, just the fact of how powerful she was, how she almost killed every single X-Men. He almost killed Cyclops, who she loved. And that brings me to number 3. It was Mastermind who actually put all those images in Xavier's head, and her head, to actually unleash the Dark Phoenix, which was just a crazy saga. One of the best written stories in X-Men history, if not ever. Number 2, I have to say Magneto. Definitely what stands out for me from Magneto has to be the Wolverine fight in Fatal Attractions, where he ripped the adamantium right out of Wolverine. I don't know if y'all remember that or read it.
I
That
remember that.
That was just a sick series of crossover from X-Men titles back then. Just amazing. It was well written as well. And last but not least, I have to say the Joker from The Killing Joke and Heath Ledger. I'm not a heavy DC reader, but that I actually read that DC series because my buddy was telling me, you got to read it, and I did. And that's where I fell in love with the Joker. And then with Heath Ledger, put it on that character on the screen. By far, the best Joker that was out there. I haven't seen that latest one there with Joaquin Phoenix yet. I still haven't seen it, but for me, that's my top 10.
I like how you phrase that. You know, that you said that you're not like a heavy DC reader. Like whenever I hear that, then I will immediately pull out a story that I feel will get the person to whether it be to care about DC as a whole or just to understand that DC has amazing stories when you find the right one.
Right.
Okay. Geiskar top 10 was Angela Baker from some movie I never heard of. Commander from Mass Effects.
I know Commander Shepard from Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, Commander Shepard. Yeah. Cobra Commander, Bison, Mola Ram, Ramsey Bolton, Dark Phoenix, Mastermind, Magneto, and Joker from the Killing Joker / Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
Good list.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Chris. Now, if y'all want me to pop up these pictures, don't go 100 miles like Geiskar just went, because you ain't going to get your picture put up, because I can't type that fast and write stuff down. But if you're going to give a damn, then keep the pedal to the metal.
Well, you know, I can talk a while about anything.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
No. Number 10, Dark Side. When doing this list, I didn't really think that I could not put him in anything but top 10. So he kind of went there immediately, along with the number 9. The rest were kind of interchangeable anywhere, maybe. I'm a little like Terrence's any one day of the week. My idea could change. I could watch a movie I haven't seen in a long time that might have one of these people in it and go like, ooh, wait, I forgot that he was like that or she was like that. I'm really interested also in seeing what Zack Snyder has planned for Darkseid. I don't think, as far as live action goes, you could get a better villain right now. I think that it'd be great. I'm just hoping that this kind of hype that's surrounding the Justice League Snyder cut is going to be well worth it. I have good feeling about it, but I really look forward to seeing Darkseid.
For the record, if we were doing a top 100, he would have been there, and like my first instinct would have been to put him as number 1. But humans be doing that bias shit, and I don't like to be biased. I like to be fair, but he definitely popped up in my mind first. Like him and the Joker popped up in my mind first when it came to all-time best villains.
And we'll get to the other ones that are on this top 10 because it was very much these guys go up here. I mean, and I had about 5 or 6 of these slots finished at the very beginning of all this. And of course, it's personal opinion because in this case, I think we all look at things differently when it comes to villains or heroes and things like that. Number 9, Dr. Doom. Again, this is a character that, as far as live action goes, I really, really, really would love to see Dr. Doom. I know we've been kind of teased that we might get Dr. Doom, but these people, Doom and Darkseid, both were kind of similar in some ways. They're not exactly the same. I don't want to say that, but they were. If you got in their way of what they were doing, they were absolutely going to go through you no matter what. They didn't care about you. And care is not the right word. They didn't care if you were in the way or not. Whatever they wanted to do, whatever they were after, they were going to go through whatever was in their way to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I'm hoping that Kevin Feige, that he does something good with him when he brings him in.
I have been hearing rumors for at least 2 years now. I know people have told me it's been longer than that. That actually they said something in the first 3 phases, perhaps. And somebody I think I saw online did a video where they said that he may have made a very, very, very fleeting brief appearance in one of the movies. I've never seen it. I don't know. But that could just be somebody thinking they saw that.
I mean, honestly, if Marvel would have had all their characters from the beginning, all these fucking movies would have been different. Every last one.
Yes. But I mean, I don't disagree with how they're doing it. I just think that Doctor Doom would have been a really good first villain in the first. But I think he's going to play a big part in what's going on with the Eternals and everything else that's coming in. And yeah. I'm hopeful. I'm still hopeful, but of course, we haven't seen anything yet out of any of this. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful because Kevin Feige has not blatantly let me down yet.
He's done some stuff like with the Mandarin, as long as he doesn't do that.
Well, you see, and that's the question. I still wonder if that was. I don't know. That is the one thing that I still to this day I'm like, what were they thinking? I'm hoping with Shang-Chi that they bring in the real Mandarin and we get to see what everybody wanted to see then. And if they had actually brought in the real Mandarin, and they seemed like they were going in the right direction. But then they
I mean, to your point, if they bring in the real Mandarin, they need to get the choreographers, the fight choreographers from China that actually know how to conduct amazing fight scenes, because his character is a fusion between Bruce Lee and Jet Li. So I don't want to see any fight scenes where I'm thinking to myself, I can whoop his ass. You better do something better than that.
We'll see, because I guess we're getting him in Shang-Chi. So I hope it's the real Mandarin. Number 8 is Voldemort. I guess it's more revenge. He gets taken out and he blames Harry or whatever. But he knew this was coming because he kills people to put parts of his soul into these objects. And it really says something that a person goes so far to make sure that they can continue to do evil things that they kill 7 people to split their soul 7 times. And for what? As far as I can tell, it's because he kind of was planning for if something got him. And then it turns out to be this kid, and so the rest of the time it's chasing after this kid. And I mean that's evil. That's just, I don't know. It takes the amount of thought that you have to think about that. I don't know. But Voldemort has always intrigued me, and I think he's a much better character in the books. They did a very good job in the movies. Ralph Fiennes did a very, very good job. But I think he's more sinister in the books.
Okay, now I have a question for you and Danny simultaneously. Did you guys feel that he was more terrifying when you didn't fucking see him or when he finally showed up?
Before.
Yeah, that's what I was
before. I would say, in a sense, it's both, because here's the thing. With the movies, when they first came around and the kids were as young as they were much more childish. The movies were. While, yes, he was more intimidating before that, before you could see him. As the movies got on and they became more mature, I do think he's more terrifying then, too, because it's just they didn't want to scare kids.
I felt more afraid about the snake, Sigourney, whatever you called her, than I did about him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it
Snake
definitely.
was damn evil as shit.
Yeah, and I think right there around the, I don't know, with as much stuff as he could do to still affect the world when he wasn't actually there, that in itself right there.
I wasn't really afraid of
Definitely.
him once I saw him. I was more kind of scared of Snake until I knew Snake was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact that he could affect all this different stuff when he really wasn't there, he's hanging out on the guy on Professor Quirrell's, head, and
Yeah.
all this stuff. It was interesting, that he could do through the diary. He was affecting things when he really wasn't physically there, and that was definitely terrifying. Or
I just wanted to ask you guys that because for me, I thought like he was more terrifying when you couldn't see him because for me, like when I was a kid, I was taught that everything can be broken and destroyed. You just have to be good enough to be more powerful or to outsmart whoever you're dealing with. And when I was told that, I was like, oh, okay. But the only problem is, what if you don't know who you're dealing with and you can't see him? That sort of breaks that,
All right, number 7. This kind of falls in the line of Catwoman when you bring her in. There are instances when Catwoman is on the good side of things. There are instances when she's not. The problem is figuring it out before it's too late. And Loki is my number 7. Loki.
Yeah, just go for a minute. So you had me confused a minute. I didn't know what the hell you was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, what I mean is Loki is very much like Catwoman. He plays both sides. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. Sometimes you think he's bad, but he's good. And it's really difficult to grasp on that. That's a person who walks such a fine line between morality and non-morality that they can lead you down a very dark road before you realize what the plan is and what's going on. And even as we've seen, in the movies, it just, you never really know. And that always makes a villain that much more dangerous. Because just when you think you might have it figured out, just when you think he was going good, to this day, I mean, I'm not sure, and then with whatever they're going to do with the series, they're obviously flipping him back over to more of the, the bad side of things. But I don't know, somebody who is, how should I say it? Somebody
he's also a jealous fuck too. You know what
he
I mean?
is, and I think, but that's the thing. I think it's personal gain.
Was he ever good in the comic?
No, not good in the full sense. Like this dude is like a jealous, selfish fuck, and he will do whatever he needs to do in a situation.
The only time I ever seen him look remotely good was in the movies, in the theater. Yeah. I mean, in the comic books or in the movie,
good, right? Yeah.
Well, or in cartoons, he was never good.
No, it was for his own. It was for his own gain. Anything he ever did was for him. It was what did he get out of it? What was it? What was in it for him? It was always about that. And I still think in the movies they do a really good job of showing that. And I think as the movies went along, they kind of took a lot that they took that you never really know what's going on. He actually seemed to really bond with Thor and do some of that stuff that made it very. I don't know. I prefer him being that very red line, walking that line. But selfish people can be some of the greatest villains because greed is a very powerful thing.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, don't you find it funny that as much as he likes to criticize humans, like remember in the first Avengers where he was talking down to humans, but he shares a lot of their fucking traits? I'm like, isn't that some ironic shit?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Hypocritic people are villains too. I mean, and I'm not speaking for everybody out right. I'm just saying a lot of us are hypocrites in one way or another with things we say. Just depends on the situation and the time. But when you get to somebody like Loki, it's blatant hypocriticism or hypocritic thoughts because, like you said, he says all this crap about humans, and yet what's he doing? It's like you're doing the same type of thing. Yeah. So number 6, Khan. So I watched the original Star Trek series, and Khan was great in that. Hold on. So Space Seed right there was where he first shows up, and he basically they find the Kobayashi Maru, and Kirk tries to help him. Says, "Hey, I'm going to take you someplace. I'm going to take your family, which is the people that were left on the ship."
You're from it was the Botany.
Botany Bay. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, Botany Bay. That's right. I'm sorry. Kobayashi Maru is the test. Sorry. Botany Bay. They they find a Botany Bay. They bring him in. They offer him anything he want, and yet all he wants is the starship. He wants the starship. He wants to destroy Kirk. He wants to take over and be the captain and all of that. And of course, Kirk and the rest of the crew foil his plans. But even at that point, Kirk is still accommodating. He takes him to a planet that can sustain life at the time and do all that, and he leaves him there. There's some question whether or not Kirk really was going to come back or not, or if he should have expected him to come back, whatever. But they did a very good job of moving when they got to Wrath of Khan and continuing this line. And he is so, again, this is so much his mission. And again, make very good references to Moby Dick, Ishmael, and the White Whale. He is so consumed by anger for Kirk that he kills everybody that he supposedly considers dear to him. He lost his wife already. He everything that he has said is dear to him, he's willing to sacrifice. He doesn't care. It's only about Kirk. I want to kill Kirk. And yet at the same time he's doing this, which is a very archaic and very almost caveman thought is what he's using, he is professing that his is the superior intellect. It's the I can't see the forest through the trees scenario. And that makes him very dangerous. And you see it. He's willing to just go through everything and anything to I guess he doesn't even want the ship anymore by this time. He just wants to blow up the thing. He doesn't care. And one of his own people even plead to him, we have a ship. We can leave. We can go. We have everything we need. We don't need to leave him. This guy is actually thinking with superior intellect, not Khan. Khan by that time is so consumed at this point. And ultimately it ends up affecting him. But what's weird about this is in the process, though, Khan does several things. He, for lack of a better thing, what he does actually kills Spock, a main character in a big movie franchise. When that happened, and like I said, he didn't directly put his hands on Spock, but everything he did to that ship caused the situation that killed Spock. And I don't care what you say. Anybody that's a major player in a movie that dies, that says a lot for a villain. I don't know if there's enough.
So you're saying that he doesn't have any lines, right?
What do you mean?
Like he just does whatever. He doesn't have any lines in the sand. He just
No, yeah, by the time you see him here, it's once he hears from Chekhov, once he finds Chekhov and he knows who Chekhov is because he remembers Chekhov, that from that moment on, it is about Kirk and Kirk only. He steals a starship. He kills people on the ship. He leaves people on Sea Alpha 5.
Oh,
he does
boy.
all of that, and it's only to get to Kirk.
Yeah. See, like, I think he's a great villain, but I would not follow him because we have conflicting ideas. Like, I'm very big on loyalty, which means that if you roll with me, you don't get killed by me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just no.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't. That. I'm not saying it makes him a good leader. He's a horrible leader in that because it's not about anything but what he's going after. So,
Yeah.
Number 5, Hans Gruber. I'll put him up that high because it's kind of ingenious that he plays the FBI. It's like he even points out standard prototypical FBI procedure. He knows it all, and he's incorporated everything that the FBI is going to do into his plan. That's ingenious. I mean, because you think about most bank robbers who go in to rob a bank or rob a vault or something. They're not thinking that somebody's going to come. No, but he uses it. He wants them to be there. And that's what it's so amazing how calm he is when he said, "Man, they're going to call the cops." He says, "Yeah, we knew that was going to happen anyways. We want them here."
Yeah.
I mean, for that to be your plan is in some ways insane, and the other way, it's ingenious because, I mean, and his just, I am so calm, I'm cool. When he's sitting there trying to get the codes from the guy, he's like, "Hey, we're gonna get it anyways. I don't want to kill you. Tell me." And the guy doesn't tell him. Pulls the gun out, pops him. Doesn't even. It's like, whatever. You're just. I was trying to do it the easy way. I'm trying to not hurt anybody. I was just trying to get from point A to point B. Now I have to go the different way, but it doesn't phase him.
Yeah.
This is
also that scene where he pretends to be one of the victims, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you was one of them. And his crappy accent for American accent was great. I think it was really done well.
Yeah.
But the fact is that you talk about leadership, Terrence, and this guy has it. He doesn't want his people to die. He doesn't even want other people to die. I want this. I mean, it's a very basic plan. I want to be rich. That's it.
And to your point right there, what you just said about the leadership, Chris, if I am or someone is to ensure that others follow you, you don't do certain things. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So Hans Gruber is number 5. Number 4, Freddy Krueger. I have enough problems with dreams as it is. I hate dreams. I don't dream. I stay up as late as I can just to get enough sleep to refresh myself for the next day. I don't dream. Not because of Freddy Krueger. I'm just saying, though, if Freddy Krueger was real, that would be even one more reason why I would not want to dream. This guy, and I think, Danny, we've talked about Freddy Krueger in this list, and I can't remember if you put him on your list. I think you did. You said it's one thing to be a physical there in the real world. It's another thing when it's not in the real world, when things aren't as they seem, when he controls the ability to make you see or feel things that aren't real, but they're real in the dream world. Anybody who has dreamt knows that it's a very convoluted mess of things.
Yeah, he's my number 25.
Yeah,
I will get back to you on the dream and shit. Like I think I had a couple when I was 5, but other than that, couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. it's a convoluted mess. Things aren't always exactly right. There's people who look like people but they're not the people There's things like it's just, and the fact that he's in there messing with that, with you in there too, and yet whatever he does to you there is real here. That's voodoo magic, man. That's craziness. And it was such a well thought up concept for the first 4 or 5. And I thought that was awesome, that movie. And I thought he was perfect. And I think we've talked about this too. As Robert Englund got farther and farther into that character and really accepted the role about the 3rd or 4th movie, where he finally he said, okay, this is what people love me as. This isn't, because he was a trained theater actor, stage and stuff. And he wanted to do that, much like Patrick Stewart. But he got casted as this role. They casted him again, and then he basically got stuck with the role. By the 3rd or 4th movie, he was like, I'm going to make the most out of this. And it became a very interesting character because he relished in becoming Freddy Krueger. And when you get an actor that can play a part by becoming that part, it plays so much better.
Were you afraid of Freddy when you were a kid?
No, I tend to laugh at a lot of horror films. Mostly because the concepts are very outlandish. The more real they become, the less outlandish they become, the more they have concerned me at times. But no, Freddy Krueger. And again, the way he's having a good time. It's like he's playing with these people, so it's fun stuff.
No, I was just asking you because a lot of humans have told me they did fear Freddy as a kid, but like my cousins told me when I was a kid that a lot of these characters, they have power because you give it to them. So I was like, oh, we don't give them the power.
In horror movies, that's a very, very real. That's very much a lot of their power. So number 3. Hannibal Lecter. Talk about giving power to somebody. He can be a complete gentleman to you. I think he's the best. It's interesting because if you show him respect, he has a tendency to show you respect. He does it with Clarice Starling through the 2 movies she's in. As long as she's showing him respect, or at least not thinking he's stupid or not thinking she's better than him, he pays respect to her. In the end of the movie, he says, I don't plan on calling on you. I don't plan on coming there. The world's more interesting with you in it. But you see these other people like the Dr. Chilton at the end of Silence of the Lambs, I'm having an old friend for dinner. The people who've treated him bad, or who have just sat there and been demeaning to him and stuff and insulted his intelligence, things like that. Those are the people he hates. The inspector in Hannibal. I love the interaction between him and the inspector. And at the end, he says, hey, you're this in this relative line or this bloodline of these people. And he's like, yes. And he says, Patsy is, I think, his name. And he mentions that one of his relatives was hung from this very balcony that's up in this Lecter's office, where he's a curator for the museum. He says, oh, well, this is right here where it happened. And he ends up basically doing the same thing to that guy because he knows he's been following him. He knows he thought he had him and had outsmarted him. And just the fact is the guy also eats you too. At the end of Hannibal, he's eating somebody's brains, and then he feeds it to a kid at the very end.
Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't like about him. I'm like, why you got to eat humans? Like, what? Why?
But that's a whole nother twist to him, But right there, yeah. And he feeds it to the kid, I think it's a little girl at the end on the airplane. It's just Yeah, and I'm still to this day interested if he really did hack off his hand. I'm assuming he did, but I don't know. He may have just snapped the chain on the handcuffs. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not saying that disgusted me. I'm just saying out of all the things you can
Yeah,
eat, you want to eat a human.
no, I understand. I think they did a really good job of going back and doing Red Dragon. It was originally done in '84 called Manhunter. And the guy who played Hannibal Lecter was okay, but when they brought it back and redid it as Red Dragon with Sir, what's it? Oh, jeez, why can't I think? Who's the actor for Hannibal Lecter? Somebody, please. Nobody.
Anthony Hopkins, you
Thank
talking
you.
about?
Yes, Anthony Hopkins. When they brought him back for Red Dragon, that completed that series for me. I really liked how it flowed really well, and Edward Norton and Red Dragon was really good too. I thought. Number 2, Darth Vader. So 1 and 2 would flip flop any day of the week. I guess, depending on what's going on. But Darth Vader from the very beginning, when I first saw him, when I first knew what he was, man, that guy is just emotionless, and he just wants to. I mean, I guess in the first movie, he's not so much the Emperor isn't so much a part of it. It's not mentioned as much. You think he's the big baddie, the main baddie, and he plays the part so well.
Wait, did you say Darth Vader is a emotionless? Is that true? Because
Well, I mean, in the sense of he doesn't seem to. I don't know. While yes, he has to have emotion and anger and all that to put it in there, it's very focused, I guess. But emotionless,
I got you. Yeah.
Emotionless as it doesn't affect him. And as the movies went on, you figured out what was going on. I mean, you got to figure out what was going on, why he became that.
I think when he first transitioned from Anakin to Darth Vader, we see that burst of emotion about Padme.
Mm-hmm.
But as he grows into the Darth Vader role, then he doesn't show his emotion as much. I mean, if you piss him off, the next thing you feel is a force choke, or you're dead, or whatever. But far as like him, just you can't see really what he's thinking.
Yeah, he's just consumed by anger, and that's it. And
Okay, no, okay, I'll give you that because he went from a whiny bitch to like you better be quiet in his presence. I got you.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But I've always liked Darth Vader as a villain, and just I think he's the way he looks, the way he's portrayed. It's always really, really cool. It's I don't think it ever lost anything as time went on. Really, even with the prequels, I don't think it really hurt anything.
If you read the books and the novels, they show a lot of his confliction. He is very conflicted.
Yeah, and you learn a lot. You learn a lot more about who and why. Why he can't fight as well and stuff like that because of his suit. And I know there's a lot of inner workings into his character that come out in the books that aren't shown in the movies. So,
despite how weak the prequels were, you cannot tarnish a character as great as Darth Vader. You just can't do it.
No. I think that the best part that they ever could have done was add him more in Rogue One. The fact that they added that last scene, I can't believe that wasn't in it originally. I'm like, boy, you wrote this whole movie and that wasn't in it originally. If that scene had not been in there, that movie drops significantly from where it is for me.
See, that's the silliness you have over there at Disney, by the way.
I know. Oh, I know. Number 1, I'm lumping them all together like I did with Lex Luthor. The Joker. There's only one Joker, maybe 2. I'm trying to remember the one that's more like a jester in the cartoons, or the one with the more like dreadlock hair. He was not.
Oh, and the Batman.
Yeah, he wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate him, but he just I don't know. But Joaquin, I think that really hurt that film. I didn't mind Suicide Squad. I just don't think that's the Joker. Just
You mean
don't.
Jared?
Jared Leto. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, and
It wasn't. It wasn't at all.
yeah, and I don't know. I'd like to think that there was something going on that they were thinking they were gonna be able to accomplish that they just weren't able to accomplish. Because I hate to think that that's just how they went into that movie, full bore, going like, "Yeah, this is the best Joker we're ever gonna come up with. This is awesome. This is awesome." And the fact that, the fact that I think Mads even said that she thinks that. Did she say that she thinks that's one of the better portrayals of
Look,
Joker?
she was defending him, saying that it wasn't like terrible, but it's not good either. It
No,
like
it isn't.
it,
Yeah.
it works. It works for that movie, but outside of that, when you like really just be technical about who the character is, I'm like, whoever thought that was a good idea should be backhanded for that shit.
Well, like why I like Margot Robbie in as a Harley Quinn. My problem with Suicide Squad to some extent, and then Birds of Prey for sure, was this idea of throwing the '80s day glow and this pop, like I don't know, the neon look, the over exaggerated things that they threw in there that was not needed. I don't think DC's over exaggerated. It's dark, it's moody, and his portrayal as the Joker was just nowhere near what I think any Joker ever would be. And so I take him out automatically. But Joaquin Phoenix was great. Heath Ledger, great. Jack Nicholson, great. Even Cesar Romero, in his own way, the fact that he got to start that for the live action, he gave it a starting point. And I really liked what you saw from Jack Nicholson taking that silliness, but becoming more diabolical. In fact, if you look at that picture right there that Danny has up, when I first saw Jack Nicholson in that picture right there, I thought of it. Pennywise, that smile he had was just vicious. There's a viciousness behind it. The soulless eyes that you can look through them and they're not going to lead anywhere. And then what Heath Ledger did to it, he kind of gave it more of that psychotic and less of Cesar Romero. So he took it one step further and made it more real world, like that you could really believe that there's a person who's actually that has lost it that much out in the world. He really grounded the character.
I mean, I would argue that Jack Nicholson was more psychotic because Jack Nicholson's shit was just like, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. There was no direction as to where Heath Ledger's Joker, he was thinking a lot when he was doing everything.
He was, but it was also, I think, like you said, put anarchy into it, create anarchy. He was always about uncontrollable. He thought he was able to throw enough into a situation to make it so uncontrollable that everybody would unhinge and go in this completely just out of their mind direction. And then he ends up failing, and he still doesn't care.
Okay, but you said that he failed, right? You talking about the boat situation? Because if you remember that situation, you had the humans, the civilians that were opting to kill all the prisoners. You remember that?
No, I understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
He almost has it happen, but he doesn't. And the thing is, though, the funny thing is he still it doesn't bother him. Why? Because it really wasn't a plan. It wasn't like it doesn't hurt him. It doesn't screw up anything because he didn't have a plan. He was just screwing with everybody. The mob, Batman, the police department, civilians, criminals. He's not.
Those those are plans.
Well,
Just to let you know, like, I mean, they're from a crazy man, but they're still
well,
plans.
I mean, I don't know. I guess yes and no though, because when a person's plans don't pan out, they get mad. They don't. That's not how it was supposed to be. Well, when they don't kill each other, he's kind of just going like, yeah, you know what, you know. And then he starts talking to Batman like, hey, you and me are the same, you know, this and that. And he
Well,
just
only
keeps
one of his
going.
plans failed, right? That boat situation, but he destroyed Harvey Dent. He got the humans to turn on Batman. He took over the mob. So if
That's
you
true.
ask me, he only really failed that tiny little sector of what he was
Like
doing.
I said, it doesn't matter to him though. It doesn't matter if he
Oh,
succeeded.
of course
You
not.
know,
Absolutely.
that's what I mean. Is a plan? I think the success or failure of a plan is very important to most people. To him, it was more about the anarchy
Right.
that the
I mean he's crazy,
execution.
right? I mean,
Yes.
right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's crazy. Ain't nobody really gonna focus on his plan, right? I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
Well, but like I said, he grounded that character very well while still making him kind of comic bookish. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd say Darth Vader and the Joker could flip flop any one of the days, but I really did like the Joker. So there you go.
Okay. Creature's top 10 list was Darkseid, Doctor Doom, Voldemort, Loki, Khan, Hans Gruber, Freddy Krueger, Hannibal Lecter, Darth Vader, and Joker. So far, Joker is number one in 3 of the 5 panelists.
It won't be mine.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Anzo of Bigger Four Entertainment. You are next, sir.
Yes. Now, how the hell do I even compete with what Chris and Terrence just did? But my list starts off with number 10. I'm going to go with Vincent Cocotti. Now, if you all know who that is, or if you
Can't even
don't
spell
know who
that.
that is, what?
Can't even spell that.
VINCENZOCOCOTTI.
Bisonco.
Now, that is Christopher Walken, and he is in True Romance. True Romance to me is a very underrated movie. It's very well done. And in that movie, when Christopher Walken has, I think it's Dennis Harper, who is Christian Slater's father in the movie, has him in a little room, man, and he's just being all nice to him, talking to him all kind, but they're fucking him up. Like, they beat the shit out of him, end up killing him. He's one of those villains that are, kind of smooth and debonair, but yet he was gangster. Like, he didn't fuck around. He wanted his money. I believe it was coke or money or whatever it was. That was the coke that they had. So he would be my number 10. Yeah, Christopher Walken.
Vincent.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, True Romance was a really good movie. It's very underrated.
Yeah. Fist bump for that, Anzo. That's
Oh,
a definite fist bump, brother.
thank you very much. Appreciate it. Like when I seen this movie, I mean, I watch it all the time, and like his role is he doesn't have a big role in it, if I'm not mistaken.
I ain't never heard of it.
You never heard of
No,
True
he
Romance?
doesn't have a big role.
Uh-uh.
No, he doesn't have a big role in it. But when he comes on this screen, it's like he takes over the movie, man. He's one of those scene stealers, basically.
James Gandolfini
Yeah,
as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Number
No, you're right. You're right.
number 9. Get this one ready, Danny.
Okay.
Chucky.
Oh God.
Man, how
Yep.
can you not like Charles Lee Ray, bro? I mean, that first Chucky movie was absolutely amazing. Man, there's one scene in that movie, and I will never forget it because I still die till this day, It's close to the end, and Chucky's in the little elevator, and he's trying to get up to the room. So this old man and this old woman walk in the elevator, and the old woman looks at the doll, and she's like, "Oh, ugly doll." And as she walks up the elevator, Chucky's like, "Fuck you," you know. And when I seen that, I was just laughing my ass off. But you know, as Chucky as a doll, he was crazy. You know, I liked the first maybe 2, 3 was okay, but the rest of them I wasn't too a fan of. Curse of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Bride of Chucky, all those ones I wasn't
Curse
really.
of Chucky
Cult of
and
Chucky, Curse of Chucky.
Yeah, called Curse, those ones. The one with the little kid. Oh my God, Seed of Chucky, I think it was. That was fucking horrible. So,
Oh yeah,
for me,
that was terrible, man. Yeah.
man, they found the worst marionette puppet for that too.
yeah, exactly. You know what I
So
mean?
horrible. Yeah.
Right. So for me, when it comes to the first 3 Chuckies, you know, like the way he was killing people and everything, and even the remake wasn't that good, but there's one kill in that movie, man, with the guy in the chainsaw. I was like, okay, yeah, that was pretty sick. So
Oh,
Chucky,
you talking about the Terminator one?
yeah, the new Chucky one, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the robot one. Yeah, that movie I wasn't a big fan of, but that kill was definitely good. What's up, Aiden? What's up, guys? Number 8, I'm gonna have to go with the Terminator. Now I'm lumping the Terminator and the T-1000 into the same category. Um, 2 different characters, but you know, same Terminator, whatever. If I had to pick one, though, it would probably be the T-1000 because I'll never forget when that liquid metal came out in Judgment Day, man. I was like, damn. And he was changing into people. And just the fact, the way it was what's his name? Jason Patrick? Robert Patrick?
Robert Patrick, yeah.
Robert Patrick. Just the way Robert Patrick portrayed him. I mean, it, it's a great performance, man. I could even say, you know, it's an action movie, whatever, and he'll never get it. But his performance was like Oscar worthy. You know what I mean? You got to understand the things he had to do: shoot a gun without blinking his eyes. You know what I mean? Go through that whole movie without any emotions or anything like that. Man, he did a really good job in that movie. And to me, as much as I like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think he definitely stole that movie from me. Number 7. I originally had the Predator on the list, but I had to switch it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with Negan. Man, when it comes to The Walking Dead, Negan is the one that kept me into that show when he came in. You know what I mean? It's like for the season before, they just kept teasing him. They kept teasing the name. They kept teasing the Negan name. And I know Negan from the comic, right? So I didn't know what he did in the comic, but I knew him from the comic, little name references and stuff like that. So when he came in and it was the one you see there, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I was like, okay. And then they ended with a cliffhanger where he was going to kill someone from Rick's group. So I had to go into the comic books at that point. I was like, yo, who does he kill? I mean, me and my ex at that point, we were all speculating for like a year until it started. Who's gonna kill? Who's gonna kill? Then when it came on, I'm like, yo, they're not gonna. I said they're gonna do what they did in the comic. I said Glenn dying in the comic, from what I know, was a big thing. So I'm like, they're gonna do that in the comic. And then he comes in and he kills Abraham first, and I was like, fuck, they copped out. I was like, these motherfuckers copped out. But then Daryl fucks up and he says, oh yeah. And when you read the comic and you watch the show, everything he says is word for word from the comic. I was like, oh my God, when they show Glenn's eye popping out, picture exactly from the comic, you know? So Negan kept me into that show. Even after that, the war with Negan, you know, it's just the way he demeanor was. You better have on your shitting pants and the things he would say, you know. Negan was
Lucille, yeah.
Negan didn't play, man, you know. So Negan was my number 7. Number 6 is I'm going with Calvin Caddy. Calvin Caddy, if you haven't known or you don't know the name, it's Leonardo DiCaprio from Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Oh my God, was that performance amazing? I mean, I fucking hated Leo in that movie. You know what I mean? And that's what you do. No, it's CAN Candy. Sorry, Candie.
Django Unchained, Calvin Candy.
Yeah. And yeah, so his performance in that movie was, you know, sometimes you look at these movies and you're like, man, he played it so good. He could really be a fucking racist in real life. You know what I mean? Because that word, the N word, rolled off his tongue like he was used to saying it over and over again, you know? But again, that's Quentin Tarantino's script. He loves to use that word in there. But for me, I think this was one of Leonardo DiCaprio's best performances. He has a lot, but I really liked him in Django. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Frank Nitti in The Untouchables.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a good one.
The Untouchables for me was a movie like I liked gangster movies, but I'm like, okay, let me watch it, you know. And that movie was so good. It's Nitti, Nitti. But yeah, that's him in the white hat right there. On the first row, bottom, second one. Now, again, even his role wasn't that big in the movie, but this guy played him so good. He had like a you don't want to fuck with this guy type of demeanor, you know? And there's one scene where he goes in and he kills fucking Sean Connery. Man, I was like, I
Oh
felt
shit! Yep, that's yeah, I like him. He played Barbas in Charmed, the original series. He was
yeah,
a badass fucking demon. Yeah.
yeah, really good actor, man. So and yeah, this scene here at the end too, where he's facing off with Kevin Costner and Kevin Costner throws him off the roof. I mean, his just performance. His performance was like, man, he felt like one of those guys you don't fuck with, and that he didn't care about anything. So he's definitely my number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna go with my man, and we've all said it. It's Freddy Krueger. Gotta go with the Dream Master, man. Freddy Krueger was one of those characters that scared the shit out of me when I seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Man, I did not want to sleep, and if I did, I slept with my fucking light on because boy, there's one scene in the beginning. It's just a dark scene, and he's in the alley and he's walking towards, I think it's Nancy, and his arms are stretched out like to um the whole fucking like it's like a driveway or something, you know, and his arms crossed are and it's like, damn, like there's no escaping this guy. Your dreams and reality, whatever, you cannot escape Freddy Krueger, you know. So he is my number 4. Everybody said what they said about him.
Anzo,
Yo,
man, that had me rolling when you said you had to sleep with the light. Because remember how I just said about humans turning on the night light and shit. Like,
bro, you think it's joking? Huh? You think I'm joking? Oh yeah, this he made me sleep with that light on, bro. Light on, man. Yeah, and I loved scary movies. Like as a kid, I loved watching them. But boy, they did not do good for me at nighttime. They really did not do good for me at nighttime. I remember
oh,
like,
that's the best time to watch them though, Anzo, at nighttime. Yeah.
yeah, now, not when you're, not when you're like 12, 13
Hey
years
man,
old.
man, shit, like man, you should have been with me, Anzo. Man, we'd have been 8. Man, I'd have had all them lights off, full volume. We'd have been watching the shit out them horror movies.
I'd probably still watch it, but I know when it's time to go to sleep, that light would be on, or the TV would be on, something would be on, some light would be on, and my head would be sleeping underneath my covers. That's for sure. So number
I feel
3
you.
is Thanos. I had to put Thanos high up on the list because Infinity War is one of my favorite movies, and I just thought as a villain, Thanos was one of the best. Now I know a lot of people like to say how well his plan didn't make sense, but I mean to Thanos it did make sense, and it made sense. It makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, he could have done other things like make sure that the world was populated with enough food for everybody. Could have done that too, but his plan was to wipe out half of humanity, and he felt like he was doing right, you know. So I like that Thanos. In the comic books, I wasn't a huge fan of him. Um, Plus, I didn't really know that much with him. I just know about the Infinity Wars and Infinity Gauntlet series.
He was a bitch in the comic books. That's why.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing, you know, like I was more Hulk characters, Hulk comic book, so that's who I followed the most, right? X-Men and all those other ones, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man would be every now and then. But Infinity War, the crossover, I definitely paid attention to that one. Thanos is definitely one of the villains that I did like. You know, there's a few. Thanos, Apocalypse. I even liked Onslaught, you know, so those were some villains that I liked. But Thanos in the movie, like I just like the character. I like the voice that played him. You know, I like what Marvel did with Thanos. Number 2 is Kaiser Soze.
Shit.
The
I will say,
legend.
Who's
um,
Kaiser Soze?
man,
I don't know how to spell that shit.
Keyser
Hold on.
Soze. Yeah, Keyser Soze. Now, Usual Suspects is one of my favorite movies. It would definitely be probably in my top 10 of movies of all times. It's one of those movies that has a twist at the end, and I love movies that have a twist at the end. But when you hear Kevin Spacey talk about Kaiser Soze, you know what I mean? He's like, these guys came to his house to get him, and they had his wife and they had his kid, and they were like, oh, we're gonna kill your wife and kid, blah 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 blah. Kaiser Soze took out a gun, shot his wife in the head, killed his kid, and then killed everybody except one, and told them, like, you know, don't ever fuck with me. Like, he was one crazy motherfucker. Now when you're
So
watching,
Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Soze?
yeah, because when you're watching the story, he's playing shit, I can't remember his name.
I can't either. But he does an excellent job.
Yeah.
Anzo, man, do you know how beast that is?
Mm-hmm.
For motherfuckers to come in there and be like, yep, I'm gonna do this to so and so, and you just kill him and then look at him like, what's up?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, you think he's gonna beg for his family, and he's like, oh yeah, no. He would rather him kill his family than to have other people kill his kid and his wife. That's what they said, something like that, you know. And I think his name was Finkel or something like that with an F. And
Yeah.
so when he's talking to the cops, he has like a limp, and he has you see how he's holding his arm in that first picture? They call him the cripple. You know what I mean? Like, he's a cripple. And he's just telling the whole story of how everything went down and this and that. And when you're watching the movie, you don't even consider him. But they let him go. And right at the end, as he's walking out, his leg is all twisted, and then it turns straight, and he starts walking normal. He lights up a cigarette, gets into the car, and when he gets into the car, he has a driver, and the driver is the same guy that was setting up everything, so they're letting you know that he was Kaiser Soze, you know? And one of his saying is, in the movie, it's just, the greatest trick that the devil did was make you think that he didn't exist. And then he's like, poof, he's gone. And he drives off.
That's off of Jay-Z got a video like that.
Yeah, he probably got it from that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just so well done. I mean, you could hate Kevin Spacey for the man he is. I cannot hate the man for the actor he was.
Do with his skills.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That movie.
What's the name of this movie again?
Usual Suspects.
Yeah,
Suspects.
And they show him straightening up and all that as it kind of, if I remember right, cuts back and forth between him and the investigator.
Yeah.
And the investigator
he puts together at the end.
He's putting it together as he's leaving, and it's like
the cop is looking at his wall of pictures, and everything that he was telling in the story, he had a picture of or a name or on his wall. Like, he's like, yeah, I was in a quartet and this and that, and he sees these pictures on his wall. Then he drops his glass and it breaks, and he runs outside, and it's too late. He's gone. never to be seen again.
Right there. Then that's the
See
perfect picture. 'Cause that's the very
that
end right there.
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I applauded him, because there are a few things that even I wouldn't do. So it's like somebody just come up just like, what about this, Terrence? I'm like, well, damn, I see you. Like, all right.
Like that movie was to me a classic movie. Like I said, it's like one of my top 10 movies. I loved it and I still do. I'll watch it every time it comes on. I'll pop that movie and I'll watch it. And number one, of course, is going to be the man. It has to be Darth Vader. Now, if I wasn't such a big Star Wars fan, I think Kaiser Soze would be number one. But I love Darth Vader, man. I was 3 years old when I first seen Star Wars, and I've been a fan ever since. Geiskar will tell you, I had all the toys. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I knew it was gonna be a Star Wars character. I knew it.
I had everything, man. And Darth Vader, other than Han Solo, was my favorite character. You know what I mean? Empire Strikes Back, when he's fighting Luke, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, that fight scene wasn't good, but to me, I really think that's one of
Epic.
the best fights in Star Wars. It's up there because Darth Vader is just toying with him. You know what I mean? He's toying with him. He doesn't want to kill Luke, but he's just toying with him. Tries to throw him in the carbonite, and he's telling him, "Oh, you're not as powerful as the Emperor I thought you were." You know what I mean? Then they're fighting, and he's throwing, the things off the wall on him. So Darth Vader was the one I grew up on. He will always be my number one villain. And that's my list.
Okay. We do a recap for Anzo's. He said Vincent Collet. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Vincent Cocotti.
Cocotti. Number 9 was Chucky. 8 was Terminator. 7 was Negan. 6 is Calvin Candy. 5 is Frankie Nettie. 4 is Freddy Krueger. 3 is Thanos. 2 is Kaiser Soze. And 1 is Vader. Okay. We're going to go pretty quick on mine. My number 10 is Bushmaster off of Netflix Daredevil. Luke Cage.
I knew it.
Hey, that brother was bad, bro.
Stokes. Yeah. Mariah Stokes. Yeah.
See if I can pull him up. What really made me compelling is that when I found out why he was after them and there, man, I felt for him. I was rooting for him. I was rooting for him more so than I was for Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And because, man, they did him wrong. So he came back there. I ain't necessarily saying that his actions was justified because he killed you, but man, his plan was to look, hey, you did my mom wrong, you killed my mom, you did this, you did that. I'm gonna take. I think they even stole his what is his liquor or something?
Yeah, they stole the fucking alcoholic beverage. Remember?
Yeah, there's alcoholic beverage.
Yeah,
and the club was supposed to be his too, right?
All that shit was supposed to be his.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just messed him all over, man. So I cheered for him. I thought he was a badass. I didn't like the way. I hope that he can get back from that stuff and find a way to actually get it and work. Cause that sucker, man, he was hell. That sucker had some nice fighting skills, man. Like it was capoeira and karate and all kind of shit mixed together. But he was nice. But he's my number 10. Number 9 is Predator. I'm not gonna pull up a picture of Predator. We didn't show it, but when I first saw that, man, that first Predator, I was like, what in the hell? Who thought of this shit? And then the one with Danny Glover, I like that one just as much and even more. And then a lot of people don't like the third one, but I thought the third one was cool. And some people are saying that the third one was on their home planet. That's not their home planet. That's the planet where they just send people and they kind of practice killing them or whatever to sharpen their skills. I want to see the Predator where we actually see their home planet, where we see them making their weapons, their machines, their tribes, the different tribes and stuff. You read it all in the books and stuff. I want to see it in live action.
I agree, Danny, and that's definitely not their home planet because they would have been dead as fuck. There's no way.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite franchises, even though it just seems to be, I don't know where it's going. But I hope that they will get it back on track.
No,
But
what do you have faith in it being at Disney, Danny? I mean, like, what do you think?
I do. I think somebody will get it. It's seasons. My next one is number 8, which is Victor. He was like the head vampire on the Underworld franchise. We watched that.
Okay.
Yep.
For whatever reason, he seemed to be. Well, I know he was dying, and then the guy that was one of the first vampire, saved him and his whole army. But he seemed to take orders from him. I don't know. I don't understand that because he was more powerful than Victor. But of course, I guess Victor had his armies and stuff and had the leadership over him. But we found that first vampire, I think his name was Marcus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Danny, did you like that last one? I thought that was terrible. The recent one.
About the one when she went in the water and turned her hair white and stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that one as much.
Is that the one with the daughter?
The other ones, but the first two was fire.
Was that the one with his daughter?
We killed it. No, that was the second one. The second one, when he killed the daughter. Yeah. The second with his daughter. When he killed his daughter.
No. I'm talking about when Selena had a daughter. No, I said when Selena had the daughter.
That was like the third one. The fourth one, Selena don't know where the daughter is at.
Yeah.
But she finds the daughter.
No, she can't find the daughter because if she find the daughter, they'll kill her. Some kind of hybrid werewolf. I mean, he like a super werewolf or something.
It's not worth remembering, Anzo. It's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm a big fan of the Underworld series, so I hope that they'll get that straight. My next one is Kingpin from the Daredevil series.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the guy name that plays him.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah,
but he, as much as I'm a fan of Michael Clark Duncan, I love this guy. I like the way he had like the bulletproof suits. He would always wear the same cufflinks until he met that woman. Then the woman kind of changed him. But
I think that's the guy that played. Well, I don't want to give it away, but he played an identity. He's the mental patient.
He was also in Full Metal Jacket, the guy that.
That's right.
Yeah. Guy that killed the short that
sergeant.
Yeah. This is, of course, Michael Clark Duncan's Kingpin, which I did like too. Didn't have a problem with it, but I think D'Onofrio did a better job than Duncan, and that's saying a lot because Duncan is a very good actor. He's a very good actor. I'm not taking anything from him, but when he came on, he stole the scene. He was very cool, calculating. But then when he lost his cool, man, it was a bad day for whoever was in his grip.
I want to see him beat the shit out of Spider-Man, Danny. I want to see that.
Oh my God! Now I like this song where when this part of the movie comes on, just sing this song. It always sticks in my mind. Where I'm an outlaw. I think the name of the song.
Oh.
I'm an outlaw.
Yep.
But going way too soon. But Michael Clark Duncan did a good job. But Vincent D'Onofrio is definitely my favorite of the two. And he comes in at number 7. Number 6 is going to be Thanos. I kind of going to echo what Anzo said. A lot of people thought he was kind of crazy. Well, he was crazy because he could have asked for more food or whatever, asked for more resources. But I guess he chose the more extreme route, which was kill half the population in the whole galaxy.
Whole damn universe and shit.
Yeah.
Like half of it at least.
I'm telling you, that fight scene between him, Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, to me would be the best fight scene that I've seen in any comic book movie. I don't care what nobody said. I think that last hour is the best comic book movie. I know a friend of ours, LDG, will say I'm crazy, and that's his opinion. But I think that
No,
movie. I think that Thanos in that movie was excellent.
no, I think a lot of humans would agree with you on that last hour. But I mean, we got to be real, Danny. Thanos slaughtered those people. That wasn't really a fight as much as it was you were just waiting for them to fall down. But
Yeah. Like I said, only thing about that movie in that fight scene that I would have liked Captain America to have more time whipping his ass. They only gave him like 30 to 45 seconds. I wish they could have let him
uh,
give like a 2 or 3 minute ass whipping. That
you
would
you know what? I would exchange that, Danny. I would have like if I were there, I would have had Thor do it because Cap is not really plausible. I mean, I guess you could put Hulk, but I feel like when you have Room King Thor, which they teased, he's just on another level. I feel like that should have been a 5 minute fight scene.
I could get you with that. I could get down with that. Not a problem with that. But since it didn't, I wish it'd give Captain a little bit more longer to
Yeah.
do what he had to do. All right. My number 5 is Lex Luthor. Mr. Rosenbaum is the best Lex Luthor, hand down.
Mm-hmm.
You may like Gene Hackman. You may like Kevin Spacey. Who else played Lex Luthor?
No, nobody cares about Jesse Eisenberg. No, so
God no.
This guy
Kevin
right
Spacey.
here. This guy right here is the best Lex Luthor. I even like him as Flash on Justice League. So
Yep.
I don't know why. That's the only thing that I wish that Crisis could have got him on there. I would have made whatever accommodations he wanted to get him on there. That would have been the icing on
they
the cake.
they were very sloppy with Danny. Did you hear about that? They just said, "Hey, be in crisis," and they didn't say nothing else. It was like he was taking care of a sick relative at the time.
Yeah, I would have postponed shooting or whatever, or went to a location he could go to long enough to film whatever scene it was, just to have him in there. That would have made Crisis that much more better. But they chose
I
not to
agree.
do it, so it is a missed opportunity. As
I,
far
I
as
agree with you. I agree.
the next one, my number 4 is going to be Joker, the Jack Nicholson Joker. Um, Jack Nicholson has always been one of my favorite actors. Um, I remember I saw this movie in 1989 in Japan when I was in the Marine Corps, and
Oh,
the
oh
place
shit.
was packed. It was packed. It was a Saturday afternoon, about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Only theater on base. It was packed. It was mesmerized. You could hear a pin drop in there. Jack Nicholson, to me, stole the scenes on all the ones he did, all the scenes he was in. I was drawn to him more so than Michael Keaton. Um, at the time, I thought that he was the best Joker. I didn't think that he could be top. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As I said, Jack Nicholson, the Joker, ain't nobody gonna beat that. But if you
Danny,
watch that
how come
show,
you didn't invite me, man? I would have loved to have been to.
I ain't telling you now, you probably wasn't even born, were you, bro?
No, I was two, but my mind would have,
Oh,
remembered
yeah,
something
okay.
with it.
Man, what's it gonna look like, Danny, a big man taking a
Yeah.
2-year-old?
Man, you could have just said I'm your son. Like we could have worked that shit out.
I got you. I hear you. My number 3 is Emperor Palpatine. This sucker, when it comes to villains, I think he is the most patient villain I have ever seen. Because he waits, I mean, years upon years upon years, and he hides right under his enemy's nose the whole time. Um, if he's playing chess, he's not thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. This guy's thinking 14, 15 steps ahead.
He's
So
already thought the whole game out.
yeah, that alone impressed me because I'm just like,
Hmm.
how as powerful as Yoda was, how in the hell couldn't he pick up something until it was just too late? So I guess I just don't understand how he couldn't pick up that present. So this guy here, not only is he cunning and smart, he must be able to, like the Saiyans and people in Dragon Ball Z, he can suppress his power.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So that alone is impressive because
Oh,
if you watch Dragon Ball Z, They don't fly. They don't use any kind of when they're trying to hide from somebody, and they can suppress their power level. So apparently, he has learned the art of that as well.
Yeah,
But he is
but I love how you phrased that, Danny. The patience thing, because
yeah, he is
that's important, man. Like I had to learn that shit.
My number two is Darth Vader. I've always thought Darth Vader was the man, but the last 3 minutes of Rogue One let me know just how bad that sucker was. Because he was like a human lawnmower. He went through those guys like it wasn't nothing. And I rewind that part of that movie, I guarantee you 50 times. The first time I saw it, it had to be 50 times. And I was excited from time one to time 50.
Yep.
Some days I'd be sitting in my office or in the house, but damn, let me pull up that and watch because I like the fast fighting lightsaber duels. I don't like the slower ones that we see in the first three and in the last sequels. I can't, especially in the sequels, I can't stand that slow pace fighting. That kind of puts me to sleep. But of course, I've heard the explanation is that they were at the height of their powers in the prequels. They were all young, powerful, so that's why we see a faster pace. I still wish they could do that because Kylo Ren and Rey are young and should be powerful because instead of hundreds of Jedis tapping into the Force, there's only those two. So they should be super fast, super strong, super powerful. But I digress.
You know what, Danny? That's an interesting way of putting it. How you said that they're younger and stuff like that. But I lean more towards a different generation. They want to see some fast shit, not some slow shit. I'm just throwing that out there.
I got you. And of course, my number one, it shouldn't be a surprise, Mr. Heath Ledger Joker.
Duh.
I know a lot of people don't like this version of the Joker, but I thought it was fantastic. I was captured. Every scene that he saw that he was on, I was invested. I was sold, and I know if we take him out of that movie is going to be kind of crappy. So to me, he made and saved the movie. I did, when we first heard I'm gonna speak for me. When I first heard Heath Ledger, I said, "Oh shit, he ain't gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
He is not gonna be able to do that." But he made a believer out of me, and out of the 5 Jokers, I think there are, I think he's the best.
Well, Danny, you said a lot of humans didn't like him. I don't think that's very many because for the longest time, and even still to this day, The Dark Knight is considered the best comic book movie. The movie that I guess, according to a fair number of humans that beat it, it took a whole fucking sea of characters. That movie's called Infinity War versus 1.
I don't think Dark Knight is better than Infinity War.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like for me, the Infinity War dethroned it, not from a storytelling aspect, but just because there were so many characters there. Yeah, like there's so many characters, which is not fair, right? Because The Dark Knight is just Batman. Infinity War has 1 trillion fucking characters in it. It's not really fair, you know?
I don't think any Batman or Superman movie is better than Infinity War.
Yeah, no. But to me, if I had to. Yeah,
I know some people say, "Are you crazy?" Superman 2. I like Superman 2. It is a classic.
Right.
But I don't think it's better than Infinity War, and I don't think no movie is better than the last hour of no comic book movie or superhero movie is better than the last hour of Endgame.
And that's pretty much what I'm saying. Like when I saw the trailer for Infinity War, I'm like, I have a feeling that this is gonna top Dark Knight because of everything that is in it. You know what I'm saying? It's like how do you not beat it when you can use like 1 million characters? It's not like we're comparing a Justice League movie to an Avengers movie. You got 1 character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Well, people, y'all have seen all of our lists. I hope that you enjoyed these last 5 weeks. I know I did. A lot of us had the same people. A lot of us had Vader. I am surprised Geiskar didn't have Vader in his top 10.
Nope.
I'm sorry, Geiskar.
No, I didn't.
I'm surprised.
I'm taking your Star Wars card for that, bro.
Either did Terrence.
Well.
Wasn't expecting not
Well,
really
here.
a Star Wars fan.
No, I am a Star Wars fan. That's false. Like I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid. Like especially like the original trilogy. But like I had stated at the very beginning, my order for how I place these individuals is not really the exact order because there are too many characters that I like and I can interchange them, which is why when I had Vader at whatever I had him, I'm like, I can easily put him as number one, but I could do that with a lot of characters that I like. To me, as far as Terrence is concerned, if I like you, that means more than like when the average human says,
Bro,
hey,
you had
I
Darth
like you.
Vader at 42.
Yeah. Like I said, like when I wrote my list, it was really like whoever popped up in my mind first, and then I started jotting them down. So that's why I had to explain that so there wouldn't be any confusion. Like if you don't clarify shit, humans have assumptions. That's just how it works.
No, and also when I got on the show, I came in like in the halfway of it, and I misunderstood Anzo, so I already had my top 10, so I had to redo it on the fly on the first show because I was thrown off. But yeah, I stuck with it.
There was an idea that Chris had. I can't remember what it was. I didn't write it down.
The Star Wars.
The Jedi and Sith one.
Mm-hmm.
No,
you're talking about ranking all the movies.
Ranking all the Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah. Ranking the 9, I guess the 10, 11 Star Wars films.
Yeah, we're gonna rank next week. We'll be ranking the live action. We're not gonna get the Clone Wars or Rebels, so that would kind of take them.
Well, Clone Wars is the only one that had a movie.
I can't be fair to those because I haven't seen them. Now, I know there's gonna be somebody like, what, you haven't seen it? I'm like, man, calm down. I've seen all the live action movies.
Well, are we gonna include the Mandalorian?
But that's not a movie though, right? That's a show.
Live action.
Keep it to the movie.
No, that's a series. I'm not. The only one I would accept that wasn't live action would be Clone Wars, the movie that they released to the theater. But we're not going to do that. So I
the only
do the 11.
Look, like normally when you guys come up with stuff, I just roll with the flow. I don't give a fuck what we talk about. But at the same time, if I haven't seen something, it would be unfair and disrespectful for me to place it anywhere because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying the 11. I think the 11 live action is fine.
Yep. That's fine.
Yeah, there are plenty of Star Wars movies. You know what I mean? Like plenty of Star Wars movies. Most of us have seen all of them, or at the very least, one or two of them. So you know.
Mm-hmm. No, I think we've all seen all the Star Wars. Where the hell did Danny go?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he disappeared.
Yep, Danny Van.
And he was like, "Oh fuck this! These guys talking over me and shit. I'm out of here." Bounced on his own show. Wow. Damn. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Let's just do the
11 movies.
Yeah. Which is
Sounds
easy
good.
for me to rank. I have them already ranked out. So.
No, you don't. Stop it.
Oh, I do.
Because I mean, like,
Lies.
In my mind, like I've already ranked them. Like, I mean, most of the time when I'm doing rankings, it's like, okay, now like I'm being told by humans, okay, you got to do your top 5, your top 10. And there's only a couple of categories where those would be legitimately, okay, this is for sure my favorite. But most of the time, I don't have favorites most of the time.
So you just rank them just like that?
Yeah, like for example, this is an actual favorite. Like my all-time favorite TV show is Angel, the spinoff of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's just boom. And it's been that way since I've seen it. And then like, say a favorite superhero, Batman for sure. And then Superman is my number 2. But there are so many things where I either like it or I don't, and then I'll explain why. But, that's really as far as it goes.
I got you.
I don't know where Danny went.
I have no idea.
I'm assuming it's some kind of technical issue. He'll be back.
Probably. Well, he has to come back to shut off the stream anyway. So.
It says his internet's acting up.
Oh, he sent you a text?
I sent him a text asking him where he went, where did he go.
Yeah, so just keep it going until he comes in.
I don't know. Um,
What the hell are you
I
doing
can
with that
almost.
bottle opener?
Hmm?
Chris, he had the bottle opener up against his nose. I'm like, what the hell? I was like, threw me out with that, man.
Yeah, Chris. What were you gonna say, Chris? You were gonna say
I
something?
was gonna say, I could rank Clone Wars for Terrence probably. I could probably tell him he'd put it at 12.
Well,
I could be
No.
wrong.
okay, like look, the I've heard a little bit about it, right? Like certain characters, I know what they look like Bo-Katan and Ahsoka. Like there's a couple that I know by appearance and name and nothing else. But at the same time, you do have a lot of that, affiliated with stuff that I didn't care for, which are the prequel trilogy, So that was why I was, standoffish to it to a large degree. But anytime there was a Star Wars movie, I was like, of course I'm gonna watch it. That's just automatic. Like if it's a cartoon, but if it's a movie, 100%. It don't even matter if they killed somebody I like or they're doing some like silly shit with the storytelling. I'm going to see it. Period.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I think you'd like the Clone Wars, though.
The
All right, I
series,
believe you. I believe you. I do. I do.
You have Disney Plus T.
No, I have some friends that do, so I could easily right now walk to a friend's house and like watch it and stuff if I wanted to.
Anything, just watch the last. I think it's last 3 episodes with Ahsoka, or is it 4?
That
Chris?
It's
I'm
the last 4, I think.
I think it's the last
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever watched the last 4
The last season.
episodes of season 7.
like the only time like it's interesting because whenever I try to like pick and choose from a show that has a significant amount of episodes, you get into those conversations. They're like, well, if you would have seen this episode, then I'm like, oh boy.
No, but those last 2 episodes are like classic Star Wars. He's having Ahsoka's battling Darth Maul and shit. It's really done well.
he says his
Right.
internet is down.
I'm trying to remember what I saw. It was something with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. Like he like wrecked the shit out of Darth Maul. Like I don't remember or understand what that.
I think that was Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah, Rebels. Darth Maul came to look for Obi-Wan, and they had a battle, and Obi-Wan finally kills him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a way of getting into a StreamYard, Anzo? No? Okay. Because in order to shut it down.
Well, I mean, give him like
Oh, no, he just told me his internet's down.
Oh, it's down completely. Oh shit. Okay.
Tell him to log in with his phone, and then he can shut it down with that.
Oh, okay, yeah. At least get him back in here. We can't be losing the host. Like, everything's fine, ladies and gentlemen.
Things happen. It's all that crazy stuff.
Shit happens. But it's all good. Yeah, if he comes in through his phone, he should be able to shut it down, I think.
Yeah, I think he can. I just
never used StreamYards with my phone.
Just to get in to talk, yeah, but I've never run a stream off of it. I know there's people who do it. I admire their patience.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mean, I would like, I guess, have to be shown. I mean, the few live streams that I've done, they've all been by myself. So when it comes to incorporating humans, like I'd have to be shown how to do all that.
Well, I wouldn't know how to do it with my phone either, because I've never done it. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'd really want to do it with my phone. So.
Yeah, the phone is the best option. I mean, I have access to multiple computers, but with all these noisy ass humans and shit, it just won't be able to hear you guys and it'd be inconvenient. Like at least with my phone, I can up and leave, to a different room or go outside and stuff in a way that is a little bit inconvenient with the computer.
Mm-hmm. Well, looks like Buffalo got the win.
The Bills.
Yeah. I thought it was too cool. Oh.
Yeah. So. No, I was just thinking about, just the aspects of ranking and stuff. Usually, when I get brought into rankings, like one of my first questions is, which one is more popular or which one is popular right now? And I'm like, well, that's what's going to win the ranking then, most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a few people on there that I didn't put on the list. And I was like, oh shit, I should have put him. But I kind of like at least my top 10.
I knew certain ones to get picked, and so I was like, yeah, I don't want to waste a pick on that if somebody else is going to do it. But there's some you just can't leave off. I mean, no matter what anybody does.
I don't have Palpatine on my list.
You're lucky. When I was doing my list, my wife's like, "Oh, put Ursula," and I'm like, "I'm not putting like Little Mermaid stuff in the list."
I know you wanted to.
No,
it's for me. It's just like I always say, whatever pops in my mind first. Because number one, I like to keep it natural. If I have to think on it too long, it's not natural, and it more than likely it's not an honest answer. And like I said before, I don't like to do that bias shit because it's like at the end of the day, it's all opinion, and no one is right or wrong. It's just more of, is your opinion more popular or is it a distasteful opinion? That's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just did them as they came to mind, right? And then I just juggled around what position and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll be honest with you. My first 30, I was just looking through list of people, and I was like, okay, yeah. But it's my top 20 that I actually put more effort into than the rest of the list.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna jump off of here.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Chris.
Take it easy.
Peace.
All right, Chris.
All right, later, guys.
Check you later, man.
Oh.
Look at that.
Danny is
He came
back.
back up.
Danny, you can't be doing that, Danny, man. I thought you had died or something.
Man, no, this damn internet. I don't know what the hell wrong with it, but it must be the fates and telling me that I need to get my ass off and go to bed. So,
really, I thought they were saying you need to do it for 10 hours.
Negative. Did everybody shout at their channel?
No,
No.
we're just bullshitting.
All right, Chris, go ahead and go first, bro.
Real Review 3000. That's where you can find me. Make sure you sub to everybody here. 3 shows on Chaos Central and Onzo's, Danny's, and myself on our channels. We put it on there too. That's Chaotic Conversation, which we're doing right now. Chaos List tomorrow on Onzo's channel and of course Chaos Central. And then the Rule of 3 on Wednesdays on my channel and over on Chaos Central. So that's it. I'm going to jump out, but thank you very much, Danny. Okay.
Yep.
Peace.
Take it easy.
Oh, Chris.
So people can find you at, good sir. Geiskar.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You're next, sir.
Yeah. You can find me on my channel, the BascoScenario, as well on Bigger Ford Entertainment, and as well as Danny's show, and as well as Chris, who just left. So check out their channels. I sneak in wherever I can. And thanks, Danny, for having me again, man. It's a pleasure.
Not a problem. I think, like I said before I got cut off, next week we can rank the Star Wars movies. Is that correct?
Yes,
That's what we said.
Yeah. All nine movies, 9 or 10, I think it is.
Yeah. 11.
11 movies.
Mm-hmm. You are not a fan, man.
I know it was the 9 and then the 2 Solo and Rogue One. Yeah. Well, I know what's number 11 right now. I can tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know what's number 11 right now.
Solo, right?
No.
Solo. What? What? What was that your number 11?
Let's leave it for
Man,
next week.
I'll tell you what, man.
That would be Rise of Skywalker, bro.
Oh no,
Oh, really?
Solo every day.
Oh my, like, man, I tell you what, like, my list is probably gonna get some individual to pull out their lightsaber. I'm like, oh, okay,
I can tell you right now, Lando Calrissian is way. This his parts in there is way better than anything that Solo put out. I mean, not Solo, but at Rise of Skywalker. I was just so disappointed with that movie.
See, I disagree with you. I didn't like one bit of Solo, not one bit. It was boring.
Calrissian,
Huh?
Not even
Nah,
Maul at the end.
nah.
So, man, somebody asked me, Terrence, have you ever been to the point to where you're just like, I'm done with Star Wars. I'm never gonna watch it again? I said, honestly, no. But something that got me close to it, like if anything, if that had to be a thing, would be Rise of fucking Skywalker. Just throwing it out there.
yeah,
Wow.
it was rough. It was rough for me.
It was rough, but I would watch that over Solo any day, all day.
Okay, well, next week could be very interesting then.
Absolutely.
Well,
Go ahead, Anzo. Tell the people they can find you at, sir.
That's right, guys. You know the channel is Big Afford Entertainment. Do the rule of three, the Chaos Conversation, Chaos List. I want you guys to check it out. OCC. OCC. Hold on. Square one. That's it. That's the one. And soon Equilibrium will be back, hopefully, once we get that taken care of. But other than that, I do appreciate all you guys that have come and checked this out. And thanks for the support. Oh, and by the way, I've been meaning to say this for so long. It's not Basco, it's the Tabasco scenario.
Tabasco scenario. Shut up, man.
All right, Mr. T Virus. Tell the good people where they can find you at, sir.
Yes, hello, humans. My name is Terrence, and before I get into that, I wanted to say that whenever I ask him, is there going to be equilibrium, and he says no, I want you to understand that a bunch of clouds formed. There's like fucking lightning strikes and all kinds of shit. Because my heart is broken. You know, at least Anzo, he'll try to cheer me up and stuff. But, sometimes in life.
Okay, I will try. If I don't have to work Thursday, we will try and do an equilibrium. And we just do a recap. We'll do a recap of the Mandalorian.
Yay.
Yep.
No.
That's cool. Yep. I enjoy, talking to all of you. And when you say no, I'm just like, oh.
And Geiskar, I'm seeing the link for that too. If you're available, we'll be talking on Equilibrium. We just talk about on whatever show is popping now.
All
right. Mandalorian, and I know, I know I'm going to get HBO Max. I want to see this Wonder Woman that's coming out on Christmas. In fact, I did a video tonight. I'm going to release it tomorrow morning about 10:30. So we can discuss
trailer.
We can discuss Wonder Woman on later on this month on Equilibrium.
Sweet, thanks, man.
Yep, no problem.
Man, that recent trailer, boy. Yeah, Terrence don't be crying for shit, but I'm telling you, man.
I went on. I forgot what site it was, but it was a bunch of critics that went to see it, and I've seen nothing bad. I've seen nothing bad. In
right.
Fact,
yeah.
So that making me definitely want to go ahead and put that $17 down and go ahead and.
Did you see that one critic, Danny? Like he was saying, like, man, it's just beautiful, full of hope, and he said it had him crying at the end of the fucking movie. I was like, what the hell happens at the end of the movie?
I don't know.
And
he was saying something about that Pedro Pascal and the other lady were unexpected good villains.
Yeah.
So just making me want to go ahead and catch it out. But anyway, I'm Danny Graham, aka Comet Chat. This is my channel. One of the shows that I do, Khaotic Conversation, on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow we'll be on Anzo's shows, the Chaos List, where he comes up with 3 or 4 questions that are very thought-provoking and sometimes get some temperatures rose, which he likes to do. He likes to stir the pot, so to speak. And then we follow Wednesday nights on Chris' show, which is called a Rule of 3. Come up with 3 questions for 3 minutes each. And then at the end, we do another 3 minutes where we all kind of throw in our ideas out there. It's a very interesting show as well.
Oh
And of
shit, I
course,
gotta go after you, Danny. I didn't say where the humans can find me.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'll do it. I'll let you get it. Also, Square One on Saturdays, we're talking all sports. It's going to be a hot show this Saturday. I can tell already. Ugh. But usually between 4 and 5. Um, a lot of that depends on my fault on my schedule. Also, for the past 2 weeks, Chris and I haven't done a Planet Solo. We're going to do one this Sunday. And of course, Robert Storms, which I do throughout the week. And I think myself, Anzo, and Geiskar. I think John is going to be on
Yes.
um,
Royal Rumble.
the weekly Rumble
Weekly Rumble. Yeah.
Thursday. I think that's what 8 o'clock or 7. One of the time.
Yeah, 8 Eastern.
Yeah, 8 Eastern. So, a lot of content, a lot of shows, a lot of different personalities, a lot of different opinions. But we thank you all that follow us. I can see now on our live streams and our videos, we get a lot more views. So that is for the help and support of you in the chat. We appreciate it.
That is
Um,
correct.
Normally, I would read the questions, but we're going on 2.5 hours. I promise you next Monday, I'll read some questions in the chat, all that come. Please tell your friends and family. Check us out. We appreciate it. Before we go, last but not least, it's going to be Terrence. Go ahead, Terrence. Tell people where they can find you.
All right, humans, this is Terrence. You can find me on this channel and my channel, T Virus Terrence. And I just want the humans to know that are listening, there is not a single fucking soul on this planet that will ever discourage me from doing anything ever for any reason. So, I just want you to know that, you have some humans talking about I'm weird and all this bullshit. And I'm going to surpass all these fuckers in terms of subscribers. They've been sleeping on me. I'm going to surpass them. The only thing that's going to stop me is if YouTube terminates my channel. But if that doesn't happen, I am passing up all these motherfuckers that have been talking shit. Because on T Virus Terrence, you can find a bunch of content there, and I keep it real. You're only going to find one Terrence, and I guarantee you it's going to be amazing when that shit happens. They better hope and pray that something happens to me, because if not, I'm coming for their ass quick. Terrence out.
And having said that,
and send it to the humans you know.
Exactly.
And with that, I'm going to say thank you again, people in the chat. We appreciate it. Next time, peace. I'm going to go out with my long outro. This is for you, Terrence.
Three, two, one.